It's time to continue our fantastic TRIMET Board of Directors meeting. But before that, let's do some classic scanner. Real Pooty got some great stuff. This is from a classic scanner star. His name is John. We love that guy.
7508. Can you call the police right now? Kind of in a situation.
Okay.
This guy is so cool. I love this guy.
Well, what is going on?
There's a white dude, about late 20s, 6 foot tall, black hoodie, white pant. He always impaired on the bus anyway, but today I picked him up Hollywood TC on Belmont. All of a sudden he came from the back to the front. He knows the bus. He knows it. He opened my the box, the glove box. He stole my fire extinguisher and then got off the bus and then sprayed on my windshield. Now he went inside the foot mark on Arco foot mark. He's in there, Belmont and Cesar Chavez. He just walked out right now.
Okay, are you able to clear your windshield and get out of the area?
Oh yeah, wow, he's spraying the fire extinguisher at Arco gas station everywhere right now. Yeah,
I love his use of the English language. I just love the way he does English. It's just so great.
To get out, he's not on my bus. I'm just on the intersection at the service stop Belmont and Cesar Chavez.
Okay, I just would like you to get out of the area if he's off your bus. Just do a work card for the fire extinguisher. You said he's a white male in his 20s, about 6 feet. And what was the clothing description?
White male, late 20s, short brunette hair, black hoodie, white pant. Let me see, black shoes. Yeah, he's still standing outside. In front of his hoodie has some white patterns on it.
Okay, and you were not hurt, no contact was made with you. He just took the fire extinguisher and got off the bus, sprayed the bus with it, and then took off. Right.
Yeah, and he's weighing about 170 pounds, 160 to 170 pounds, 6 foot 1. Yeah, I'm not injured. No passenger got injured at all. He just took the fire extinguisher, got off the front door, and sprayed on my passenger side windshield, and still at Arco gas station on the Belmont and Cesar Chavez.
Okay, I'll get a message out for you guys not to board them. Glad you're okay. Glad they're off the bus. Like I said, please fill out a work card that the fire extinguisher is missing. And if I need you to fill out a report or anything, I will text that across your CAD. I know you have one from earlier as well. But if I need anything additional, look for that message across your CAD.
Oh, yeah, no problem. And
7509.
7509, I got your request to talk.
Well, unfortunately, I picked up the guy that we weren't supposed to give a ride to.
Okay, are they doing anything?
He's just loud, and he got up and went over to the wheel where the fire extinguisher is and opened that up, and I said, hey, and he closed it, and he's just sitting there babbling right now.
Okay, well, if he causes a problem, let me know, but let's just try and get him where he needs to go.
Will do. Thank you.
Yeah, good. That's good dispatch right there.
7508.
7508. I got your request to talk. How can I help?
Yes, about at 7:30, there's a white guy stole my fire extinguisher and sprayed everywhere, and dispatch sent message out, do not pick up that aggressive rider. I saw him on the 7509 bus right now heading to Milwaukee TC, and I talked to the driver. I said, did you pick up that white guy who stole my fire extinguisher? He said, yeah, he's right on my bus. He is the only one on the bus at this moment, so I just wanted to give you a heads up.
Okay, we have already spoke with that operator, and thank you for letting us know, and have a great night. 2021.
They're trying to avoid a confrontation, which is the smart thing to do.
7509.
7509, I got your request to talk. How can I help you?
Well, I finally got the guy off my bus, and he's at Milwaukee now, and I do not want to pick him up to take him back. He is very agitated, out of it, pacing. He stole my leader's fire extinguisher, and then he went and got in my box, and I said, hey, and he closed it before he could take anything.
He said, hey.
Yes, that's why we put the do not board message out. He was just acting a little erratic. So, okay, they're at Milwaukee. I will get that do not board message updated and do not board complete.
If you could add on there that he has white pants, that would really help, because it's really hard to, everybody's got a hoodie. So, I mean, once I stopped and he started to step on, I knew it was the guy, but maybe if I didn't known he had white pants, I'd have seen him, you know, earlier. 7509.
7509?
Sorry to bother you, but he just jumped on the 33 heading towards Clackamas.
Okay, I copy. Thank you.
Crazy man on the TriMet, ladies and gentlemen.
3302, Clackamas, Town Center layover, southbound.
3302, I got your request to talk. How can I help?
Hi, so I got that message about the do not board guy off 21st in Jackson, Maine. He jumped on my bus, and now he's over there by the stops by the Clackamas Transit Center.
Okay, well, he was on your bus. Was he causing any problems?
Just weird behavior, talking to himself, going through the trash, just randomly shifting seats, but nothing really too crazy.
Okay, I will get that message updated. Thank you.
All right. Crazy man on the bus. Another day at the TriMet. Now let's go to the TriMet Elites. And I think it's time for the board reports.
To sign up to speak to us today, so I'll close the public forum, and I'm going to move now into the area of our meeting, which is board reports. And our first board report this morning is from Director Edwards, who's going to tell us about the latest meeting on the Committee on Accessible Transportation. Director.
Oh, the CAT committee? You mean the committee that just sent their chairman to tell you not to raise their fares? Let's see what Mr. Edwards has to say.
Dr. Edwards, welcome.
Thank you very much, Chairman Simmons. It's good to be here, but I wish I was there physically, but I can't.
Where is he? Look where he is. What's he, in a hallway? I mean, there's the exit. There's a fire alarm. He's in a hallway somewhere.
Before I start my remarks regarding the meeting, I want to really thank Jan Campbell and the CAT committee for their advocacy and their work. They really bring it, and they really do a really comprehensive job trying to make things better for TriMet and for all those that ride TriMet. I also want to thank Eileen Collins for the minutes that she provided so I can be able to share this report this morning. First of all, at the CAT meeting, President Campbell had shared that there's going to be an upcoming active transportation summit held at the Oregon Convention Center. And that's going to be from April 23rd to 26th, Sunday through...
An active transportation summit, just what we need. An active transportation summit. Yippee! Ridiculous.
Wednesday of that week. And I will provide a link that I have, and I'll send that in the chat as well, so that that can be provided for folks who want to attend the Active Transportation Summit that will be held there at the Convention Center. Also, I want to thank Jan for the comments and remarks. Excuse me, remarks.
Active transport, a movement of ions of molecules across a cell membrane. I don't think that's what... Active transport. Let me try that again. All right. What is active? Where's the definition? What is it? What is it? What is the meaning of active? Active transport is a mode of transportation in plants. Active. What are two examples? What the fuck? Let's try. Oh my God! I just did this whole episode without having the camera on after the computer crashed, but I didn't record. So we'll do it again. We'll do it again. Now I know what's coming up, and it's bad.
I wish I was there physically, but and that was the definition that was given of accessible paths, and those paths not being adequate for folks with mobility devices. And CAT has brought forward before on several occasions the fact that it would behoove us to have staff actually I'm trying to find my words here, but actually have staff take on the what it would be like.
They want the staff to use wheelchairs to get on and off the buses for a month. And they want them to use transit only. That's what they want.
To have to use a mobility device, and what it would be like to be sightless, and what it would be like to not be able to hear. And when they're doing these engineering and design phases of all the vehicles and all of the different things that have to do with TriMet, it's important to have that up front, because then when you have to go back and try to get it done afterwards, it's very challenging and it can be very expensive. It's a lot easier to have that planned up front. And so, again, CAT is encouraging staff when they go on these field trips, or when they're involved with the design and engineering phase of these different products that have to be used for the TriMet and for the public, that they go out and simulate these disabilities so that they're able to have a better understanding of what the design should look like, and we don't have to go back and say, well, we could have done this better, we could have done that better. And I think that it's an ounce of prevention that certainly helps.
Who exactly are you talking about here that needs to do this? Sam Dessous, for example, maybe the assistant general manager and all the other top bureaucrats? That might be helpful.
The budget, as well as making sure that folks are being thought of and considered whenever there's designs are coming forward. Yeah, so I just wanted to share that. And that pretty much completes my report. So thank you all very much. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Director Edwards. Do any of the board members have any questions? Thank you. Next, we're going to move on to Director Gonzalez, who's going to give an update on today's.
We don't need to listen to him. He did a report of nothing.
More complete comments about that, but I was glad she was able to represent the agency. Who will be.
Bauman was at some property development affair, and my comments that were like, what the fuck is she doing there? Why aren't you doing transit? What are you doing at a property development? That's why Bauman's not here.
Providing an update on the Transit Equity Advisory Committee. Director Way?
Okay, now
Great.
I've
Thank
already
you.
watched this. She is going to machine gun a whole bunch of information here. So be ready. Okay. She's going to, this is quite a presentation by her. She just machine guns off this report.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. So I'm just proud to present our March report for TIAC. And before I start, I just wanted to...
Transit Equity Advisory. I don't know what the hell that is. We know there's no equity. There's no inclusion. People living in tents. People are in poverty. All this equity and inclusion is nonsense. It's garbage. It's gaslighting. We know that because we can see the world.
Very quick story. I was getting my morning coffee this morning and saw Leisha Shreitha. And for folks who don't know Leisha, she's the executive director of Division Midway Alliance, which does wonderful things for community members, immigrant refugee community members out in East Portland. Well, I saw her this morning off Broadway at the bus stop with about 10, 15. They looked like they were Bhutanese community members, new arrivals at the bus stop, probably doing what Leisha does best, with just probably, showing them how to take transit and how to take the bus. So it just warms my heart so much about the real heroes, the real sheroes that are out there, that are, helping.
Sheroes, Pootie. Maybe Pootie will want Sheroes, Pootie.
Our community members who are brand new arrivals, immigrants, refugees, different folks just learning how to take transit. So just really warmed my heart, and I just wanted to share that quick story. I do have a pretty full report, so I'll try to make it as brief as possible, but I also want to give a shout out to Amparo Augusto, who's here today, who always is at TIAC, always is, not to embarrass her a little bit, but she always does a great work with the note-taking, so thank you so much, Amparo. So just very quickly, TRIMET continues to have job fairs, hiring events to recruit, attract, really great folks to work and represent our agency, and along those lines, many of you may have heard that we celebrated the Transit Driver Appreciation Day, which was on Friday, March 17th. I saw just really great social media posts just acknowledging all the different bus drivers that are out there. So thank you for the work of putting on your uniform every day and serving our community. There is also a call to artists for cultural bus wraps. So many of you have seen our wonderful bus wraps every month celebrate, different communities, different artists, and so this is in preparation for the Disability Pride Month, and again, this is encouragement for members to share the word, spread the word with local artists that there is a call for a proposal for artists. You're going to hear a lot of conversation back and forth about the increased fare proposal. The board is going to receive an outreach report at our next meeting, and TIAC will also receive the same presentation in April. And again, this is around how the various outreach and open houses and community engagement has been going. We also heard that Washington County, in partnership with TRIMET, is bringing a new outreach group to our transit system, and this is really to help connect people riding the Max Blue and Red Line trains with social services before they reach the end of the line. And it's made up of social service providers and Washington County staff, and the goal is really to prevent people from becoming stranded in Washington County after Max service ends. So really great work for that collaboration and just outside things.
I had a little fit about this. You're not going to get the full Al experience because I already did all my cursing and flipping out on the episode that I didn't record it. Anyway, yeah, this is the old, we're going to hook you up to services. We're going to hook you up to, I don't know, maybe it's happening over there, but it's sure as hell not happening on bus. There's no hooking up anybody to anything on the bus side, nothing. And most people are on the bus. Let's remind you. There's no services. There's no crisis team. There's no nothing. She's talking about Max, and I don't listen to the Max call, so I don't know if it's factual.
Thinking of how do we connect public services, public resources, social services to public transit. Right. And we also received a presentation on security on the transit system. Staff reviewed incidents that have caught.
All right, she's going to do some gaslighting here. Okay, she's going to do some gaslighting. She's going to equate fare evasion with crime. Okay, that's got nothing to do with it, really. Okay, what's happened here is that all the dispossessed of the greater Portland area have nowhere to go, so they go onto the trains. Okay, that's where they go because that's the only place they can go. They can't afford fares. Okay, you want to kick everybody off? Except the people that can afford fares. Yeah, you can do that. Excuse me, I'm getting excited. But that's the opposite of equity. Okay, that's police state. So let's listen.
The media's attention and provided an overview of partnerships and efforts to increase presence on the system, the different options for handling security situations, such as increasing security presence, and the number of customer safety supervisors and officers. Staff highlighted sort of a new task force model with the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office.
A task force with the goddamn cops. There you go. Criminalize everybody. That's what everybody wants. We have this bloodthirsty society of ours that's never happy unless there's some blood. You know, we support all the wars. We support all the police state. We're a bunch of psychos in this country.
Office and a pilot program with the safety response team, which connects people to resources. TIAC members specifically ask questions around staffing roles on the system, the number of armed groups riding the system, and if data is available on the relationship between harassment and assaults and fair enforcement.
See, there you go. There you go. There it is right there. Yeah, kick everybody off that doesn't have fair. That would be the TRIMET way. You know, put everybody in jail. That would be, you know, half the people want that, you know. They think that's the answer to the social problems, is put everybody in jail. And those people are the dumbest people around. Sorry, Pootie.
Is available. So I think stay tuned. There's more information coming that way. And then it was also asked if there was a correlation between the increased number of customer safety supervisor positions and the proposal to increased fares.
Yeah,
staff also provided.
So we are. Yeah, I made this comment too. It's got. Yeah, the fare enforcement is more expensive than the fare evasion. Okay, let's get that clear. That's documented to be true. The fare enforcement has nothing to do with fare collection. It has to do with control of society. I've said it 100,000 times.
An update on the planning and outreach of the second year of the Youth Summer Pass program. And TRIMET is again gearing up to distribute passes to school districts. And there are other new community members that have been identified. So I really want to thank staff again, and also the various community-based organizations and also various school districts for participating in the Summer Youth Program. And then staff has also sent their recommendation for TIAC membership to the general manager. So as folks may recall,
the general manager, the emperor of TRIMET, a man who's selected by unaccountable board members here, who are selected by a governor who had, sorry, you know, I have the long COVID and I cough, and I got a heater on, which is drying out my throat. I'll turn off the heater.
Back in last December, early January of this year, we had formed a couple of different retreats to really, you know, look at who comprises TIAC, right? This is
yeah, get a retreat going. That's going to help. A retreat. You'll have a retreat of elites, and they'll figure it out.
The Transit Equity Advisory Committee. So what does that actually mean? What does that actually mean for TRIMET to continue to work on our...
See how she's shotgunning this information at like supersonic speed here. She's just rattling this off.
Equity goals, to think strategically about who's at the table and helping to make informed decisions. And so our members, so staff asked members for feedback on items to help a new orientation process for newer TIAC organizations. And so this orientation process is going to be for new and existing members. And I just really want to thank our TIAC members, again, who show up every month unpaid for a couple hours to really give their feedback on how we can make TIAC better, more inclusive. And some of the ways is reviewing.
Yes, we need inclusion, even though there's no inclusion and the society's falling apart around us.
Our bylaws, our mission statement, their own roles and responsibilities, and also having videos and presentations that are accessible for folks to review at their pace. And then last but not least, staff reviewed the timeline of the increased fare proposal and also the release of Title VI's study, which will outline potential mitigations if the proposal moves forward, such as initiating new reduced fare programs.
Yeah, see, they're not going to give anybody a free ride. This is as neoliberal as you can go. This TRIMET's going in the opposite direction from a lot of other agencies, and they're all doing it because they want their banks to be happy, okay? There's no justification for what they're doing. I don't care how they justify it, but there's none.
Updating existing subsidy programs or increasing program participation. And as you may have heard, the board could also move to delay the fare change or modify the fare proposal. And a final decision will be made in June. And then
no, we heard Simmons tell us they're not going to make any changes. It's not up to the board to make changes. We heard her say that. So why did you just lie to us about that, Kathy? Why did you make that up?
And I'm also really happy to hear that there is actually a new work group that is underway that is being led by TIAC and by some of our members and our staff, and it's a fair subsidy work group. So again, there's been lots and lots of conversations just over the last couple of years of how do we become creative, how do we think outside the box when it comes to, just thinking about fair.
You're not thinking out of the box. You're thinking inside the box. The whole reason you're discussing a fare increase is because you're thinking in the box. You wouldn't be thinking about it at all if you had any outside of the box point of view at all. So you're gaslighting us.
And the role that fairs play in our agency. So this is a brand new work group. Members were encouraged to let staff know of their interest to join the work group. And the work of the fair subsidy work group is scheduled to begin in late April. So stay tuned for more.
Late April, and they're going to take a vote for this in May. So yeah, great, lovely.
Information on that.
This is all gaslighting baloney.
The fair subsidy work group will also move forward regardless of the outcome of the fair increase vote in June. So that's my report, and happy to take questions.
Great. Just one point.
Did you see how fast you ran through that stuff?
Clarification. The actual board vote will be in May.
Oh, thank you. Yes, for the record, the vote is in May if we decide to move forward.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much, Director Way. Any questions?
Here comes Ozzy.
Director Gonzalez.
Listen to what comes out of Ozzy's mouth here.
Thank you. Thank you for the report, Director Y. Not a question so much as a comment. I'm thrilled to hear about this work group getting activated, and I just wanted to express my sentiment of both enthusiasm for the work and an encouragement that whomever participates, first of all, I'd love to have a lot of voices at the table to participate.
Yeah, you'd like a lot of voices at the table, but they don't do any good.
So please stay on the lookout and figure out ways to become involved in that. I know it's such an important conversation for so many of our writers and our citizens in the community. I also encourage you to look at the tools beyond the arsenal of TRIMET. There's
the tools beyond... Oh, God. This gets me so worked up I can't even talk. The tools beyond the arsenal of TRIMET. Give me a break.
There's been some ideas brought forward today, clearly about how fares can be addressed, and it's important to recognize that some of these ideas take us outside of what TRIMET can do on its own. For example, the payroll tax has a lot of potential opportunities for adjustments. All of this goes back to the state legislators.
See, now there's the problem right there, right there. All of this goes back to the state legislatures. Why are they even involved with TRIMET operations? This should be Metro. Metro should be doing all of this, not the state legislature. This needs to be changed. This governance structure is all wrong. Okay, it's an unaccountable agency appointed by a governor who doesn't care about it, and the Oregon legislatures, most of them don't give a shit about anything going on in Portland or this transit system. So that's the root of the problem here, is that the governance structure is faulty. It's wrong. It's bad.
And it's an opportunity for us to lean into this conversation with our legislators. So through the work of this work group and through the attention that some of our legislators already have on the matter, I would encourage folks to look at how our legislation...
Yeah, call your senator. Yeah, that's the way it works great. Look at how our civilization has collapsed thanks to these people. These are parasites. They're not going to help you. If you can't see that by now, I'm sorry, man. Go be a Trumper. Trump, who already had 4 years to make America great. Did he do it? Oh, but here are these people. They still think he's going to make America great again, even though he didn't do it. So, I mean, this is the kind of society we're stuck in here.
At the state level can be bringing resources to TRIMET so that we can address this in a more comprehensive way. So thank you.
Good. Any other questions or comments?
Now we got some good news.
Seeing none, I'm going to move on then. That was the end of our board reports. But before we move to the general manager's monthly report, I want to inform the board that since my and Vice President Bauman's terms on the board are scheduled to end.
Yeah! We get rid of these two. Thank God. Go away. She's going away along with Bauman. Good, I'm glad. Both of them are terrible.
May 31st of 2023. We're starting the general manager annual performance review.
Oh, yeah, the general. I'm sure that's going to just turn out. Oh, you didn't do a good job, Sammy, baby. even though the place is in disarray and it's just awful for the drivers, for the riders, it's just a collapsed system. There'll be the usual glowing remarks about the wonderful general manager. I've been following this since Fred Hansen. There's never once been a bad review with a handsome raise. So, and we already know that they have $440,000 in the budget to give to Sammy for running this podunk transit system.
Process several months earlier than usual. This is consistent with past practice, as the board president, along with members of the board's executive committee, which includes the vice president and secretary, are responsible for drafting the general manager's annual performance review. The review will be completed and available for the board members' review and action at the May 2023 board meeting. Although if the board...
that's going to be the same time they're going to do the fare. So when they do the fare increase, they're going to give Sam a raise. Isn't that lovely?
Votes to make any compensation adjustment, it would not take effect until after the beginning of the new fiscal year, which is July 1. And then on a different note, at our April 2023 board meeting, the board is going to receive a closeout report from staff on the Reimagine work.
Yeah, the Reimagine work that nobody asked for. They shoved it down your throat. They didn't do any equity analysis. They didn't do any public outreach. They did nothing. They just said, we're cutting your service 20%. They're going to tell you they're going to restore service for a year and a half straight. We're going to restore. Then all of a sudden, they're not going to restore your service. We're going to reimagine your service, and then we're going to manufacture consent for this, and 95% of the people will fall for
it. Safety work, and so you can note that on your calendar as something that's really important for us to hear about. Yeah, sure. Now I'm going to turn to the general manager for his monthly.
I don't want to hear him, but we know that's going to be garbage.
7 Golf 4.
Why are you running my tag? You're not going to search anything.
Yes, ma'am. You're about to get your rights up in the back of my car.
Well, is that what you want to do?
I said put your hands on the car. Shut up. We know the woman's going.
That's where we live. Cop sued, gets fired, no trouble finding new job. That's the country we live in, folks. A totalitarian police state. There's no equity. There's no inclusion. Stop believing this shit.